Let's talk about something we've all thought about, maybe even obsessed over. Can you really exercise your way to a flatter stomach? You do 1,000 crunches hoping to shrink your waistline. But what if I told you that entire approach might be, well, a complete waste of your time? Today, we're going to dig into the real science of how to actually lose belly fat.
I mean, come on, you've done this, right? You're on the floor, you're crunching away thinking, this has to work. It just feels so logical, doesn't it? If I work these ab muscles, the fat sitting right on top of them should just melt away. But is that how our bodies really operate?
So let's just address why we're even talking about this. What is it about belly fat that makes it like public enemy number one for so many people's fitness goals?
Yeah, this is where that deep frustration kicks in. You feel like you're putting in all the work. You're doing what you think are the right exercises, but that one area just doesn't seem to budge. Well, it turns out there's a really specific, and honestly, a pretty fascinating scientific reason for that.
Okay, let's get right into the heart of the matter, because this changes everything. We need to talk about a little something called spot reduction. You've probably heard of it, but maybe not by name. So spot reduction is basically this idea that you can pinpoint a problem area and just work it away. Do a bunch of crunches to burn stomach fat or endless leg lifts to slim down your thighs. It's an idea that has fueled a billion-dollar industry of workout gadgets and targeted programs for decades.
And I want you to really let that sink in for a second. It's the absolute key to understanding everything else we're about to talk about. The entire concept of spot reduction, it's just not real. It's a total myth. So here's how it all gets flipped upside down. The myth says we get to be the boss. We pick the spot, we do the exercise, and the fat disappears from there. But the scientific fact is, your body has its own agenda. When you need energy, your body draws from its fat stores from all over, your arms, your legs, your back, your face. It's a systemic process, and you, unfortunately, don't get a vote on where it starts first.
So if doing a million crunches doesn't work, what in the world does? Okay, let's look at how your body actually burns fat. This is the good stuff. It's really a simple three-step process when you break it down. Step one, you've got to create a calorie deficit. That just means you're using more energy than you're taking in. That's the signal. That deficit tells your body, hey, we need to find some fuel somewhere else. Which leads to step two. Your body starts tapping into your stored fat for that energy. And here's the crucial part, step three. It pulls that energy from everywhere based on your own personal blueprint, your genetics, your hormones, not based on which muscle you just worked out.
And that's the bottom line. Think of your body as being incredibly efficient. It doesn't really care that your abs are on fire. What it cares about is the total energy bill you're racking up. The bigger the overall demand for energy, the more fat it's going to pull from its stores to pay that bill.
You know what? This is actually fantastic news. It means we can stop wasting our time and energy on things that don't work and instead focus on a strategy that gets real results. So let's talk about that winning combination. The real path to effective fat loss is kind of like a three-legged stool. First, and this is the biggest piece, is proper nutrition. It just can't out-exercise a poor diet. Then you have consistency, which is the glue holding it all together. But that third piece, full-body exercise, that's our accelerator. That's how we really kick things into high gear.
And here's where we get into the really cool stuff. Because if our goal is to create that massive energy demand and send the right fat-burning signals throughout our entire body, some types of exercise are just way better than others.
And this, right here, is why full-body weightlifting is such a game changer. It's not just about the calories you burn in the gym. No, you're building new metabolically active muscle that burns more calories all day long, even when you're just sitting on the couch. But even more importantly, you're sending these powerful hormonal signals through your body. You're optimizing things like testosterone and growth hormone, which basically act like managers telling your body to prioritize burning fat and building lean tissue.
Let me put it this way. Doing crunches is like knocking on a single door in a giant skyscraper and asking for a little bit of energy. Doing heavy, full-body weightlifting is like sending a memo to the CEO that gets blasted out to every single floor of the building, telling everyone to start burning fat for fuel. It's a massive body-wide signal.
So, now that we know all this, what do we do with it? Let's bring it all together and figure out what your new focus should be, starting right now.
First things first, just stop. Seriously, give yourself permission to let go of that frustrating, pointless chase of trying to target one little area. It's actually really liberating when you do. And instead, you're going to shift your focus to something way more empowering and effective, just getting stronger. All over. When you focus on building overall strength, you create the very conditions that lead to the results you wanted in the first place.
And finally, please remember this. A pretty good plan that you actually stick with is infinitely better than some perfect plan that you quit after 3 days. It's the small, consistent efforts day after day that build up into incredible results over time.
So the big takeaway here isn't that you have to completely change your life overnight. It's about trading a strategy that just plain doesn't work for one that's backed by science and is so much more effective. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's one small, sustainable habit you can start today to begin building that overall strength? Thanks so much for tuning in.